Alright gang, we're going to start out today's videos in Photoshop, and I've been working on this little project here where I'm using a combination of hand drawing and Photoshop and Illustrator to get this tattoo design together. So I started out with a pencil drawing, and then I took that into the scanner and then into Photoshop where I cleaned it up a little bit and then pushed it back out in grayscale so it was very light on the page. And this way I can draw over it with black marker, and if I don't like exactly what I did, I can just print out another version of the sketch. So there's one fun way that you can use this technology, even if your primary goal is to make hand-drawn sketches. Anyway, so I went back and forth. I'd push out a sketch, and maybe I'd get the shading right one time, but didn't like something else I did. I'd bring it back into Photoshop, delete the parts I didn't like, push it back out, and so forth. So for this little demonstration, I'm just going to show you, for example, the fact that I want to mess around here with the word resistance. I don't really like how it's starting to get cramped by that territory of the ribbon. I'll hit P for pen, and just a reminder, we're in Photoshop right now, so things are going to look a little bit differently. Up here at the top left hand, I'm going to select path instead of shape, and that's going to give me a little hairline that has neither stroke nor fill. So I'll just come through here, and I'm just selecting an area to delete because I want to go back into Illustrator and lay things out a little differently. Okay, so once I close that path, I can right-click, make selection. Feathering radius gives you sort of a fuzzy edge. That's not really that important in this case, so I'll just leave it wherever it's at. And then I just want to double check on my layers window. You can see there's only one layer. I may have to double click background and hit OK so I can edit that layer. And then I'll just hit delete. And initially it's going to show through to the background, but once I export this, that little area will just turn white again. So let's go to File, Save As. And if I save as a file type like a JPEG, for example, there's no transparency in JPEG, so that should just show up again as white. So let's call this one video example text.jpg, and that's going to be here in this folder. Maybe I'll put it in the process folder. I'm sort of double dipping here. I'm also doing this as a project for a podcast I work on where the creative challenge is hate. So in this case, I picked a style that I generally hate, which is traditional tattoos. But wouldn't you know it, when you spend time working on something, sometimes you come to really like it. And so I'm enjoying where this image is going. Okay, so I'll save that guy. Just make sure it's not too super low quality. So that was our brief dip into Photoshop.